Hey folks, and welcome back to the mountain. So we got our chicken tractors done, but the feeders and the waterers we have for the chickens now just aren't going to work. They're not going to be big enough. So what I've got here is a very simple, easy, and cheap way to make waterers and feeders for our meat birds. All right, so what we're going to do, we got 4 5-gallon buckets here. I've got 2 of these round pans, and then I've got 2 of these square pans. The round pans will be used for the water. So this bucket, we're going to drill holes around here and then put the bucket in there, and then it'll fill up with water. And the chickens will be able to go around here to drink their water. For the metal pans, for their feed, we're going to drill bigger holes around the bottom and just put that in the pan. The feed will go out in the pan, the chickens will be able to peck at it that way. So we're going to start with the water. So what we're going to do with the water, we're just going to use a 3/8 bit. We're going to drill some holes. So the height of this it's about 5 inches. So I don't want it all the way, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill at 4 inches up the bucket. So that way, when the bucket goes in here, the water will wind up being an inch below the top of this, and there'll be plenty of water for the chickens to get to. So if I just take this and I drill in at 4 inches right there. Now we're not going to do a bunch of holes for the water because we don't want all the water just gushing out. So I'm just going to do 4 holes, and that should be enough for the water to flow out of. This doesn't have to be perfect by any means, and it's not. And when I'm all done with these, I'll show you how they work. So I'm just doing 4 holes at 4 inches. So the top of the hole's at 4 inches. So what we're going to do, we're going to fill the bucket with water. Then we'll put a lid on it. Make sure the lid's tight. Then we're just going to take that and put it upside down in the pan, and that'll fill this up with water. Then the chickens can go around it and drink water just fine. So we have 1 more of those to do because we need 1 for each, a waterer for each tractor. So let's go ahead and do this one. And I'm just going to go 180 from that, roughly. So again, there's nothing exact here, let me tell you. Doesn't have to be exactly 4 inches. It's just wherever the hole is, that's as high as the water is going to get in that bowl. So we want it kind of high up, pretty close. All right, so there's the 2 of those buckets. Those are done. Now for the food buckets, these I'm going to put in with the top up because we don't even need a lid. We'll just fill it with food. But what I want to do is I'm going to use a bigger bit for that because I want to put a bigger hole. I'm going to do much more of them going around it. So all I'm going to do, it's going to be fairly low because it'll flow out. I'm not too worried about that. There's 1. I'm going to go right across from it. I'm not even going to measure up. Guess I should take those out, huh? Go ahead and pop them out because we're going to make messes. All right. I'm going to do a lot more of these holes because once again we need the feed to flow. You could measure it and, you know, space them all perfect and all that. I don't really see why. So I've got 4 in there. I'm going to do at least 4 more. I think 8 holes will probably be sufficient. We'll find out. And if not, we can always drill more. Just got to get that little disc out of there. Just need 1 more hole. Okay, we got 1 more bucket to do like that. This way tomorrow when we put the chickens in the chicken tractors, we'll be able to feed them and water them right away, which is a good thing. You don't want them to die after all this work. I'm not sure the size of this hole. I think it's a 2-inch. Actually, this is 1 3/4-inch holes I'm making. So pretty much whatever you have will be sufficient. As long as the feed can fall out of it, you're good. So there's 4 holes. I got 4 more to do. It's the hardest part right here. Getting these little discs out. What's that? 2 more. And last one. So there you go. There's holes all the way around it, as you can see. So I'm going to go rinse these out because there's a bunch of these little shavings in it, and then we're going to show you how they work. Okay, folks, so we're going to show you how these work. This is the bucket with the bigger holes. All we're going to do, we're going to put it into the pan, put the bucket in the pan, and we're going to pour feed into it. And that's as simple as it is. And as you can see, the feed goes right into the pan. As the chickens eat it, it'll come out the holes in the pan, in the bucket, and that's it. That's all we're going to do for them. That's it. Pretty simple design. It was cheap. The buckets are a couple bucks. That pan was like $5 maybe, and that's it. This one doesn't even need a lid. I'll probably put a lid on it anyway, just to keep the poop out. Okay, folks, if you notice on the feeder, I drilled the holes in the bottom of the bucket, and that's fine. For this one, I went more towards the top. Right now, this bucket is full of water up to about here. That's all we're going to need to do. For this one, you will need to put a lid on it to seal it. You'll see why in a minute. Just make sure that your lid is sealed, and we're going to take the bucket and turn it upside down into this pan. And as you do that, the water is coming out of them holes. and it'll fill that pan up just fine. And as the chickens drink the water, it'll fill. It'll never get filled up more to where the moles are. And that's our waterer. So we're going to build one for each of the tractors. We'll put them in there. You can see how nicely that's working. So the chickens will be able to get their drink just fine. They'll get their drink on. And that's it. So we'll probably have to fill these once or twice a day. And that's it. Plenty of water for the chickies. So you can see it's filling. It's about done. And that's it. They'll have plenty of water. See, it's filled up. It's about an inch below, like I wanted. Now the chickens can just drink in there, and as they drink, the water level goes down. That'll drop down. So that's it. Those are the two. That's the feeders and the waterers for the chicken tractors. So folks, that's it from the mountain for today. As you can see, got the tractors behind me. We'll be putting the chickens in there tomorrow. Today it's actually kind of cool up here. It's only in the 60s. Tomorrow's supposed to be like in the 90s. So it'll be perfect weather to get them outside and get them used to being in the outside. And they won't be too cold. So, once again, as always, subscribe to our channel. If you haven't yet, do it now. What are you waiting on? Tell all your friends and neighbors about us. Give us a thumbs up. Hit the notification bell. That way you know when we do a new video. And as always, from the mountain, God bless.